Hey everyone, this is Signal with Trovarsi, and we're back. This month I have Tomo Mühlen, aka Tomo RAW. He's a known techno artist for his raw modular performances. He's also an amazing DJ. He's got Beatport-charting tracks and hard-driven sound, which has placed him on stage with like Sara Landry. He's performed across major festivals like Ultra Europe, ADE, and SONUS, plus Berlin clubs like KitKatClub and Re, which I've also had the pleasure to play at with him. That was so fun. And he is the founder of Raw Industries Berlin, which is a collective of live artists. It's also a label. And I can't wait to get into asking him and talking to him more about that, because I've also had the pleasure to release on that for him. And yeah, but without further ado, welcome Tomo to Signal. Tomo. Welcome back.
Hey, 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 hey. Long time no see.
I know. But I see you've been doing a lot of cool stuff as usual. You're always like touring, playing live, DJing, all kinds of cool stuff. But I want to talk about your live setup because your live set, excuse me. Let's talk about your live set because it was absolutely fantastic. And I could really hear just like we've known each other for a little bit now and we've had a chance to
Yep.
play and I could hear your evolvement. You know what I mean? Like how when we listen to each
Yep.
other, like, and it's amazing. Like, and it's like this solid, like industrial, dark techno sounds, which I absolutely love. Um, so talk to us a little for those who cannot see your setup. Just give us like an overview of what was happening,
Yeah.
like what's in there, like what's in your modular case and that.
All right. So my setup is really changing a lot. I mean, I would say almost like weekly. And yeah, because, first of all, literally in the last maybe year, a lot of new stuff came out. I have the feeling like, modular is now coming in a mature phase, and so you have a lot of models who are not only experimental, but now they're starting to be more, for let's say certain types of music or musical ideas and everything. And so now you can go also the other direction, kind of experiment, but also have a really clear idea what you want to do, and you can do it. I mean, that's because that's what I'm kind of trying to do all the time. That actually, it's not. It is improvisation, but like I want to fulfill the idea or sound which I have in my head. So not so much I play and then whatever comes out, but like I want a certain thing, and that's what I want to get. And my setup, is relatively. It's not complicated, but I really have a lot of modules. I
Yeah,
try to.
what's your main voices in there? Like tell us like what some of the
I can even
voices.
show them. You can see them. Wait, yeah, like this. So
Sure.
yeah, so I use a lot of noise engineering,
Okay.
and so I basically have all of their models, and but I don't use them all the time. So that's what changes in the case all the time, because this is my so-called red case, and this is here my green case, So and yeah, so stuff goes from my green case to my red case.
Red case. Got you.
That's kind of the the logic behind it. I mean,
Right. Okay, so wait though. So let's dial it in for
yeah.
just again, so for people that are not seeing this video, just really quick rundown. Let's talk about the red case because that's what they're hearing for
Yes,
your
that's
set
the
for
main
the
one.
show.
Yes,
Yeah, what
exactly.
voices do you have in there? Like I saw that you had the labyrinth. Is that in there, or did I see that wrong?
So I have like this. So from noise engineering, currently I have the Belly Territas, the Alia platform, but I have no idea what I have on it because I forgot, what which software I put in it. But whatever the software is, it's staying inside because I like it. Then I
Nice.
have all Basimilus Iteritas, the one before Alia came out, so basically the fixed one which you can change, and that module is kind of from the first day I started playing until now kind of survived, and it's unreplaceable, I would say.
Yeah,
And then
I too have a BIA. Same thing. One of my
exactly,
first ones, and we'll never get rid of it.
exactly. And then I have a Manis Iteritas. So those are the three which are currently in the red case. I also have the other ones, but with those three, I can get most of the sounds, or similar sounds, what I can get with other modules. So for live, I'm saying, okay, I'll stay with those three. I mean, and that's it, not to do it. But what I changed from, let's say, a year ago, I'm all running it to Strayman filters.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
I have the Trayman DFA2, which has 3 inputs. And so all the 3 noise engine models, I'm running through that.
Okay.
And then I'm running it through Maritime EQ.
Okay.
It's a 5-band EQ, and the reason behind this, the filter is mainly, since noise, it's digital. All the oscillators are digital, and sometimes they have a lot of like those very high artifacts. So with the filter, I kind of cut them down, and also the Zweimann distorts very nice, like warm. I mean, and so the combination, because the Zweimann is really more of a classic analog, filter type of thing. I wouldn't say Moog because it isn't like Moog. It's a Zweimann really thing, but it's a very warm sound. So I've seen combined, they're very good. And then the EQ, the function of the EQ is really for live. Because very often when I play, certain clubs don't have enough bass or have too much bass or don't have enough subs or whatever. So, and since it's so important, the ratio of the kick and whatever the sounds are doing, then with the EQ, that lets me, live while I'm playing, while I don't like or like the sound in a club, I can actually change it, So that's kind of it. What changed also a lot since the.
Let's talk about your kick.
Yeah,
Since
exactly.
you mentioned kick. yeah.
So yeah, I got the Ohm Force, boom.
Yeah.
What you can see, everybody has it now. I was using for a long time the Ultra Kick, which is still my go-to kick if I'm more of, let's say, experimenting or studio work. But for live, I like the boom very much because it kind of works like a plugin, So, like whatever you would do on a computer, you can do on those modules, So it's for live really a good solution. And again, since every club sounds different, and you can kind of use the same kick, you don't have enough bass. Sometimes you have too much bass, or it's muddy, whatever, and that's what boom allows you really to do it easily. And then the rumble, it's a much smaller module is here for the rumble of the Ohm Force than if I do my own rumble, which I used to do, with delays, filters, reverbs, and everything. But then I needed much more space to do that. So again, this is really, I would say, the right solution for live. I mean, so
nice,
especially because it's different when I play smaller clubs, because then, let's say, a certain mistake is acceptable and charming, but when I play, ultra resistance, 40,000 people or something, and most of them don't even see what you're doing. I mean, they have no
right. They're just there to dance and to listen, and they're not watching your case.
Exactly. So there, really the margin for mistake is zero. Like everything has to have redundancy. I bring always much more gear than I actually use, and always bring so much gear that if something breaks down, I can continue with another case or whatever. So that's really maybe the difference. I mean, so
okay.
And then also, those big festivals, you can't play sometimes so hard and so experimental like when I play in a Berlin club. I mean, it's a big difference.
Right. No, I totally understand. And then, so one other thing then. So you are using the Labyrinth. How are you using the Labyrinth? Just curious, because I've heard people use it in so many different ways. How are you using
Which one? Which one? Sorry.
Are you using the Moog Labyrinth? Or do I not see it?
Yes,
you are.
Okay. It's here. You see?
Yeah.
So that's my in-between case. You see, that's a small case, which sometimes I carry me or sometimes not. It's a module which I like very much, but I mainly really use it, like a loop, almost like a loop which goes over everything, and not really as a main, carrying module, who will do bass or melody, whatever. So it's really imitates basically kind of like a loop,
Yeah,
And
kind of just doing some weird loopy textury thing on top.
Exactly. Like a top loop, in production.
Yeah.
That's basically what I use it for. I experimented a lot, before, but like a top loop, that's really where it shines, the best, when I don't have it all the time, when I bring it in when I need it. I mean, and so that's kind of the use for it. What is taking over the function, which a lot of people have with the Moog, is now the Sauvage. Let me see.
What
Can
is
you see
that?
that? Okay, so Sauvage.
Oh, that's by EO Waves, right?
No,
Is that the
no?
Sauvage? Who's that by?
So Sauvage Engineering is a guy from France. He is a one-man show. He is into industrial techno, and he makes those modules alone home. And
wow.
You basically every 3-4 months he has a batch for sale. It gets sold in like 3 days. I mean, and then there's nothing for 6-7 months. So
I'll have to check it out. Sauvage Engineering.
Sauvage Engineering. So
I feel like I've heard of the name, but I need to.
A lot of. I mean, almost everybody who does industrial is using it.
Okay.
So this is the Lebanon, and then here the Le René, the cows. I don't know if you can see it here.
Yes.
So that it, and I'm using there his fuzz, which is very similar like a guitar fuzz, basically, and it's kind of really like a guitar distortion. When you actually run it, when you play through it, it sounds really more like there's a guitar, in the mix than actually some other model.
Okay.
And I'm using the Zweimann BLD, which goes into it. And then I'm using the BLD alone, as a bass line without anything, or with which is very, very, very aggressive, So,
right.
Something, let's say, acidy, even though it's not really acid, I'm using actually this module, but it works differently because it's not like a filter type of, let's say acid which comes out of the filter. It's more which comes by phasing and shifting the distortion by itself.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, so it's a similar, let's say, vibe, but actually a completely different type of sound, because I'm not so crazy about, in acid when it becomes kind of, too high pitched everything.
Oh, like the resonance when it's like super squelchy. Yeah.
So
I like when it sits in the mix.
Exactly. So this is kind of like a module which never gets, resonant because it's not real resonance.
Right.
And then the other side has this feeling of like a heavy metal guitar or something,
Got you.
And
all right. Sorry,
I
didn't want to interrupt you. I want to ask before you, as you're going through your case. So, just really quick, talk to us about just your approach. Like when you're making, when you're creating an idea, is it more? Yeah, just talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, but okay, so let's say 80% is improvisation.
Okay.
I use now currently, what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sequencers I have now, and so where one of them is Vector, which I saw from you. I mean, and kind of started using it and stayed with it, kind of like it. So Vector I use for stuff which is, let's say, relatively preset, because when I play, I have, let's say, 2 type of tracks. One where really have I would say it's not even techno anymore. It's much more not only industrial, but it's a little bit becoming like synth wave and electronic body music, kind of like that feel. It's kind of almost like not so commercial, but say like Depeche, bass lines. I mean, who have kind of like a melody or something. I mean,
Got
so
it. Got it.
yeah. So when I use that, I use that vector. Does that, and kind of my philosophy is behind that I find like a nice riff, similar to a guitar riff, and then I mess it up, with the sounds and destroy it basically,
Nice.
So I start from something which is, let's say, a little bit melodic and musical, normal musical, but then I destroy it, in the process.
I like it. I like it. Make something musical, destroy it.
Exactly. So, and then I use the Euclidean circles that I started using a couple of months ago, for like modules, actually especially for the Sauvage modules, because all the Sauvage modules have basically two triggers and two outputs, and they're kind of two oscillators in one. So and when you are playing them, you're kind of always playing off, one and another. Sometimes they can be left and right, or they can be mono. It's kind of similar to the labyrinth. You can do similar.
Yeah.
But it's much more bassy, much more distorted, and everything. So for that, I use the Euclidean circles because it's very easy, live to set up, two different bass lines who play with each other and fit also with a kick, So
Nice. Where are you getting the pitch from then? If you're because that's only a gate sequencer.
without the pitch, without
pitch.
Without,
so you just kind of just go with like a one note type of thing and just that bass that's like got you.
Yeah,
very cool.
A lot of things I have no pitch.
I love it.
A lot of things I have no pitch, or what I'm using, I have two mimetic digitalis, the old one and the new one. So I use them for pitch, but also I use them instead of LFOs.
Okay, right.
I don't like LFOs.
Because it's actually a CV sequencer.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And I don't like LFOs, so for me, because like always, when you play and then you feel like, okay, this LFO is mathematical to me. LFO is not musical to me, So and then when you make it musical, let's say that it goes by 16 or whatever, then it's too mechanical again to me,
Right.
So one mimetic I use exclusively for that, for because the old one, what is very cool with it, when you shred it, when you basically make the pitch out of it, you can contain it into one octave, or you can let it free, run into whatever 5-6 octaves. And
right.
So what do they do in a certain module? If they do pitch, then I can immediately shred it in like, 1 octave only, so it sounds normal. And or if it's a filter, then I run it in full 4 or 5 octaves, but it's influencing the filter or whatever, or fold or something else. I mean, And what's cool, when I play live, I can instantly change it all the time, So I can like shred it. I don't like it, shred it again. I don't like it, shred it again, or shred only one note or something. I mean, so it's very quick, live when you're doing something, to change it. I mean.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I have both of them too, and they've been great. The
new one I like, of course, now, because it can also, you can choose trig, or you can choose pitch, or
stuff.
choose CV, or you can choose notes. I mean, and you can even choose the scales. I mean. So that's kind of, cool, because I kind of use like not an octave, but like 10 basically notes, so an octave and a half. But I threw out, many of the notes which I don't like.
Yeah.
I threw out the nice ones, So.
Yeah. Keep the good ones. Okay, so I know you mentioned guitar, and so that's such a good segue into. We've talked about what you've been doing recently with modular. There's just a couple of things. I want to talk about RAW, but I also want you to talk about just your history. Just really, I know you have a vast history, so we could be sitting here for hours listening to all the things you've done. But just for those who are just hearing about you for the first time, like I know you were in bands, you're a guitarist, you've production. You've worked with, releasing music for TV, film. So
commercials, I would say,
yeah. So just, I don't know, just a little bit of like what, a little bit of that, and then how you got to brings you to where you are right now.
Okay, so
5 minutes, go.
Okay, so
I'm kidding.
I'm old, so and I'm doing really, since 16, I'm kind of doing professionally music,
Okay.
and I'm really lucky that I succeeded to live from music or music related business, and therefore almost my whole life, that's the only thing what I'm doing. I only had once in like a real job, and that was also in a music store in New York City. I was working for Rudy's and Pensa Guitars for 2 years, and so that was my only like real day job, So and actually the modular, it wasn't that strange to me because I'm enough old that actually I used 808, 909, 303, 606, all that stuff originally when I came out. I had it also, all those units and everything. And I had an ARP Avatar synth, and 2600, so I had a lot of those synths. So I was already, and a Moog and Oberheim and all that stuff. So I was already then, as a kid, deeply into that. Later, I did much more guitar work because I lived from, playing guitar, basically, especially in New York City. I mean, that's what I was doing for 10 years, kind of playing with bands, recording, producing and stuff. And then when I came to Europe, I went much more into production, especially like TV stuff, commercials, movies and that. And the reason really being because I kind of don't like commercial music. So wherever I can do something which is not normal, I'm always happy doing it, So.
Right. Nice.
I did also commercial hits, but the last 2-3 years I a little bit gave up on that because it's just kind of boring. I mean, so it's music, commercial music became very predictable, and I think now AI will finally kill it to the end. I mean, so. So that's how I kind of got long time ago into analog synths, stayed, and then when Eurorack started, started a little bit buying and more, I was mainly DJing, but then of course immediately came the idea, this would be good to do something live with it. But really, to tell you the truth, I was practicing for 2 years, to come to the moment that I would dare actually going, live with it, especially, if you're not doing something but prepared, I mean, then it's a different game. I mean, so and also, I have Electron and all that stuff and Octatrack and all that, but I never use it. I mean, it's
you're a modular guy.
It's the like I'm always saying, especially when people, when I'm in a club and I play here now and other, people are coming, a lot of modular people were coming. What will you do tonight? Blah blah blah. I said, I have no idea, and I hope it will be good because because very often it's shit, So and so, and that's the truth. I mean, that's the challenge of it, that it can go really wrong, or it can be really good. I mean, so.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, no, I know you're extremely accomplished. So thank you. I know that was highly abridged, but just so people, get an idea of your background and leading now, like, let's, go back into Raw Industries. Let's talk about that before we kind of wrap it. As we're getting closer to the end of the interview, I cannot forget about that because that's truly where you and I made our big connection, really, right? Because you mentioned the vector and stuff, but where we actually got to talk.
It was Raw. But look, Raw, the idea behind Raw was, so I started actually Raw first in Croatia, But then I liked actually the concept, and I switched it to Berlin, and the idea behind that was really promoting, live music. That's really the number one idea, and also not to have it, always labels are usually, they belong to somebody, somebody's trying to make business out of it or whatever, so this is really something which I don't want to do at all. The idea is to help whoever I can help who is doing what we are doing, to keep this going on for everybody, promote everybody. We post, daily 10, 15, videos from other artists who are not even part of RAW. So really promote the whole, worldwide live community and go as far as we can with that, because again, as I said, with AI, I think a lot of things will change, and actually live will have even more impact than it has now. And Berlin was the right place to do it. But now it's becoming, let's say, much more international. We are now working on an event we're going to do in Bogota, with basically local artists, and
very cool.
And people are calling us from Australia, from the United States, from New York, from everywhere, and that's kind of the direction. What we're gonna do is, it's always kind of the same formula, people who can play with us live, who can do a VA or can do an EP, or if they want to do like a whatever 10 tracks, doesn't really matter,
Right.
There are no influences of what you should do or how you should do it, do whatever you want. We had now, just last week, we released Saitek, which was number 2 in the charts, and
Saitek, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so that's his second EP he did with us. The last one charted at position 3. This one here was number 2. Unfortunately, at the same week, Charlotte de Witt released her record, so that's why he's number 2, because he would be number 1. And also individual tracks, he had 3 individual tracks who were all in the top 10, So
nice.
So it did really, really good, and we did with him also a day, in Amsterdam. He played, with us. And
I saw that. I didn't get out there this year, and
yeah. But the whole idea is, like also when he played and we had this event in Amsterdam, a lot of local people came. A lot of people who also learned from Analog Kitchen. His students. They came and so it was kind of, that was the whole idea, like really like a community. We put all the tables in the middle of the club, so everybody could go around, everybody could look at the gear, everybody could ask questions. And then also, a lot of the modules also, which I have and a lot of people, other musicians have, they're not so to get them in, so people had the chance also to hear them on sound check. How does this sound? What does this do? And everything like that. So
nice. So it's like community and live artists, and like I said, you did the first release was the various artists release. So you had artists from Berlin. I know Alex, ALX 106 and myself did a track for you as well, and and that's. I just love that it's continuing to grow, and it's just great to be a part of it too. So thank you. Thank you for that.
No, thank you for helping us and playing with us. And we'll do more. It's never ending. Because since there's no business content behind it, then it can function also. So if it will be a business, then immediately, there would be problems and restrictions, and don't do this, don't do that. So
right. But now it's just like free flowing, live artists, just having fun, and
nice. So we always do, event, and then some releases, and then again event, and now we all got also a little bit into teaching, where I'm more not so much myself into teaching, but I help a lot of guys, they call me about this model, that model, or, how do you work, what do you do with that, how do you deal with this, so because,
That's part of the
how
main part of our whole community in general is just like
yes,
working together, teaching each other like how to use certain modules or things.
exactly,
And yeah.
exactly. And we all learn from each other, because as I said before, it's kind of, big part of it is experimentation, and so we all come to sometimes to the same results, but sometimes to very different results.
Yes.
What we share, we can learn, and everything. And I have to say, when you also mentioned Alex for, with WMD, I mean, I was really like, that was one of my first, experiences with him. One of the WMD modules died, when I had it, and so I sent him an email or something, or Instagram, and literally like next week they just send me a replacement module, without asking or anything, and I was like, wow,
yeah, they're great,
yeah,
fantastic guys over there.
exactly, and that was so
Yeah,
cool,
William and
because today, everybody is like, yeah, do you have the warranty? Did you register? Do you do this? Oh, what do you do? Did you turn it on? All those
right,
stupid.
right.
I
All
mean,
this troubleshooting shit.
exactly, this was like no questions asked. He just sent it, and I was so happy about it. Being part of that type of community where not everybody's only about the money. I mean, so
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's great. Like, and it is a great community. So I'm very happy myself to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So, okay, two more questions as we come to the close here. I think I already know the answer to this one, but so DJ versus live performance, which one?
But live, I mean, without any doubt, even though I have to say, that I really don't do, let's say, classical DJ sets, So my DJ sets is I use Ableton Push and often also bring some, other gadgets. And I play mainly with loops, But when it's, let's say, DJ set, then I use my own loops, but also tracks and loops from other people. So it's not my music, 100%. And I combine everything. And also when I DJ, I mainly DJ hard techno, very fast, very rough, and and as one friend of mine in Germany, my manager actually said, this is Germany. It's cold, ugly weather. We have to listen to hard techno. And so it's also not only a different thing, but it's also really a completely kind of different genre. For what I do when I DJ.
Okay.
With DJing, what is nice, of course, that I can play in front of 40,000 people. That's what nice. When I do modular, you really don't have those kind of opportunities. And so even though, let's say, when I play in Germany, also when I played Ultra and Resistance, what I do then, it's like a hybrid. So I mix a little bit DJ set, a little bit modular, kind of both, and
nice. Yeah, it's that way bringing both of the worlds together and showing people more hardware.
Exactly,
yeah, that's great.
Exactly. And so
So just what do you have anything upcoming in the horizon? Like any show that you want to kind of shout out or anything that's in the works?
Yeah, we have. So Raw. We are now starting to prepare for Superboot already.
Oh, okay. I'll be out there this next year for sure.
Okay, so I hope you will play.
Yeah, count. It's on the record right now. Count me in. I'm in.
Don't count it out.
I'll be there. No, I won't. I will be there. And yes, I will count me in.
Okay. So that in the meantime, we have another concept which we now did in Berlin, which is called Korova Bar. Like from Clockwork Orange, if you saw the movie. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so Corolla Bar, which is more orientated towards synthwave, dark wave, and EBM. And we had an event a couple of months back, was sold out, and we are doing now on the, I think, 14th or 13th of December, we're doing our second event.
Nice.
And it's a good concept because we have bands who really play, guitar, drums, the whole thing, and then we have electronic guys and we have modular guys, so it's kind of all mixed up. And
Okay.
and it's a little bit of a different audience, than what normally would come to Raw. So we kind of like it because that gives the possibility to do one Raw and then a month later to do a Corolla and then go back to Raw, because you can't kind of do the same thing over and over, just the you won't get the needed audience. And Berlin generally, people are going a little bit less out. People don't have money. I mean, so
Right. So, but this way you're getting two different types of crowds and different events. So
exactly.
that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah. And now I'm preparing. I will even play now guitar also live, so it's not.
Oh, very cool. Okay, very cool. I hope you post that. I hope you post some videos of that. I think people will really like to see that.
Yeah, I just switched to an 8-string guitar, so I'm learning, from scratch playing again.
That's nice, though.
It's like weird, it's something what I'm doing for 40 years now. Suddenly, I don't know how to do it. I mean,
right, you just set it down and then got into something else. It's like, yeah, you have to reteach, and so you can get that muscle memory going.
Yes,
yes.
So, but challenges are good, and you gotta switch all the time. I mean, that's to me.
Yeah.
I mean, and that generally my problem. That like I get bored very fast, and then especially when something, let's say, functions well. Then that's usually when I stop doing it, and I start doing something else.
So that's when you switch it. Yeah. Keeps people on their toes.
And myself,
for sure.
I kind of, I get around really well when it's chaos around me, so I'm kind of keeping it chaotic, wherever I can. So.
That's great. Oh, wow. All right, Tomo. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show again as it's evolved. And it's always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you in person in Berlin for Super Booth next year.
Yep.
And yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
To Signal.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.